Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter show. I'm really excited this week to be interviewing Vickie Aigner, and we're talking about redefining what senior really means. I think the internet's a wonderful place because you get to meet wonderful people. And Vickie and I connected on Instagram, a couple of months ago, Vickie, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, more than that, I think.
Yeah.
You've done several things with me, several workshops. So
Yeah.
Fun.
And Vickie is in Arizona, and of course I'm on the Gold Coast, so it just looks like we're next door, doesn't it?
I know, it's so much fun. Just wait till we meet in person.
Oh, we can do those reels together in person, Vickie. Vickie challenged me to do an Instagram reel, and it was good fun.
You did great. You did great.
All right, little about Vickie. Vickie exemplifies a modern senior. She's a health, wellness professional and leading a movement to redefine what senior means. Vickie became a single mom to her 6 children when her late husband died at the age of 54 from a heart attack in 2001. She pursued a career as a wellness consultant and advocate to help others live their best lives, working with corporate clients, tribal communities, global nonprofit organizations, individuals, and senior living communities. She rebuilt her life by following her passion and purpose at the age of 68. She became the founder of CEO of Alive, Fit and Free, where she now empowers and motivates seniors around the world to live a life of wellness, adventure, and connection. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It's so great to have you here. So we can actually continue in our conversation.
I know, right?
Yeah, how good is this? And to get to know you a little bit more, we've connected on Instagram and we sort of chat a little bit. And I've done some workshops for you, but I'm really interested to find out more about you. And I mean, I love this, how you kind of redefined yourself in your 60s. I think this is a really important thing for many women, where we have this tendency to think, oh, I'm too old, it's too late. Right. You're living proof that that's actually not the case.
Well, it's funny because my mother always said I was a late bloomer. There you go, right? Like, I didn't have my first child until I was 28. And then, 6 kids later, I was almost 45 when I had my last one. So I did start late, but I've never really, and maybe it's because I always had so many teenagers in the house for so many years, I never really thought about age. It's just, you just kind of do. And my personality is one that I don't overthink things, and sometimes I way underthink things. I'll get an inspiration and then just jump into something and do it, and then halfway through I'll go, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Right? But that's that's just kind of the person I am. So I'm always thinking of fun new things to do, and key for me is, if it's not fun and engaging, I won't do it because I get bored real easy. So I get excited about stuff, and when I do, I have to run with it. So starting at, I don't think it's ever too late to start again. I mean, we're both in this realm of the senior lifestyle, but, here we are. I think seniors as a whole group of people have so much more to offer because we lived a lifetime and we gathered wisdom, and, we've been through so much that just adds layers upon layers of not only wisdom, but, so much character, right, that we have to share with other people because we've experienced life. We've been through those things. We've had to figure out how to maneuver through those hard situations and how to let them not cripple us, but to use them to build that strength and that character inside of us.
Well, you're a walking example of that. I mean, we have this. We have a saying in our house, to be a living, breathing example of what you believe, and your story is one of that. You lost your husband 20 years ago now.
Yeah, it was this year in December, 20 years. He was 54. We kind of, we were not your normal family. We decided when we had 5 children that we lived on the West Coast, raised in California. We decided we wanted our kids to have an experience growing up in the country. So we packed everybody into a motorhome and went to Arkansas, where we took a piece of land, 500 acres on the Spring-fed Creek. And we did that for a few years. And then we moved to Mississippi, and we were building our own home, a 4,000 square foot home. And my husband passed away from a heart attack in the middle of that. And so, yeah, from that point, life just kind of had its way with us. We just certainly didn't expect, though you never expect those kinds of things to happen. But he passed away at the age of 54. Our oldest child was 18, our youngest was 3. Wow. And there we were. Mississippi is the deep South, and it's a lot different than California or the West Coast in the United States. So we finished the house, and then a few years later moved to Arizona so my oldest son could go to college at ASU. So the rest of us came out here.
Yeah. So why the move to Mississippi? Was it because of the land? Was there family there? What was the draw to Mississippi?
Okay, so yeah, okay, this is a whole kind of a whole other chapter, but so we moved to Mississippi. Well, we moved to Arkansas and became involved in a religious group. And my husband quickly ran out of work there, but there were a whole lot of this particular religious group that lived in Mississippi with lots of work to do, a big congregation there. So we moved to Mississippi, ended up finding a great piece of land, and started building our own home. So that's why we moved to Mississippi. And don't get me wrong, it was quite a learning experience. The countryside is beautiful, and the culture there is like spectacular. I felt like I lived in Gone with the Wind. People just drove cars and had electric lights, it's so totally different place. But anyhow, so that's how we ended up in Mississippi.
So when he passed away, how much longer did you stay in Mississippi after that?
Well, we were about halfway done building the house. So my oldest son was 16, he and I, and my youngest son, I have 4 girls, 2 boys. And my youngest son was 3. So every day, the 3 of us would go over to the house. And fortunately, we had some help. One of the men in the congregation there helped us. An older man helped us finish the house. So we left, Ken died in 2001. We left in 2005.
So when you moved back to Arizona, did you have a community there when you moved back, or did you kind of have to start all over again?
No, honestly, we started all over. Our thought was, my mom lives in California, which is right next to Arizona. And we originally thought, well, we would move out there, but started looking around, and we liked Arizona. Like I said, my older son was here going to school, and I came out for a visit. And before I came, I put applications in at several gyms. I was working as a personal trainer. Put in applications at several gyms, came out, landed 3 jobs, rented a house, went home and packed everybody up. So we just came and jumped right in. And so that's how life kind of started here. And from there, we've been here on and off since then. So we're almost natives.
For us here in Australia, Mississippi sounds just so kind of romantic. And I can just imagine that, Gone with the Wind and the big staircases and.
And it does, a lot of places look like that. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah. And then you go from there to the kind of desert area.
Yeah. I'm not a desert lover per se. I do like that lush green, but Arizona has been a really great place for me to raise my family. I felt like it was a rather conservative. So I felt comfortable with my kids in the schools, as comfortable as you can be moving to a city, because they'd always lived in the countryside. They'd never lived in a city. So, but I love it. I wouldn't trade it. I like living in the city. I like the activities. I like everything that I have to do. I'm close to the ocean. I'm close to an airport, so I can get on the plane and go, whenever I want. Mountains close by. So I built a really good community here. And now with the way the world is, our community is worldwide. So, we're not locked into any place.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
your passion has always been in health and fitness?
Well, pretty much. I grew up in the, 60s and 70s, and I was kind of that hippie child. I remember being a senior in high school. I was the editor of the school paper writing about using whole wheat flour and honey to bake bread. And that was kind of the start of it. So when I graduated from high school, my stepdad managed some condominiums at Lake Tahoe. So I lived up there, and a lot of times all of the condos were empty. So my cousin and I started a bread baking business, and we would go in at nighttime. We bake these huge batches of bread, and then we would go to all the condos and put the bread in there. And then in the morning, we'd pack them in boxes and hitchhike into town to sell bread at the deli. But what would typically happen is that the bread would be gone before we ever got to the deli. People would just buy off the street. So that kind of was the start of it. And then I moved to northern Idaho. I always wanted to live off the land. And so I moved to northern Idaho and learned how to grow huge gardens and raise animals, etc. And at the age of 25, got cervical cancer. And my father had a girlfriend that was into natural health. Now, back then, we didn't have Whole Food stores. We didn't have the internet. We did not have access to alternative treatments. Everything was pretty much underground. So she said, hey, why don't you give this a try? And I said, okay. So I did. I chose to get well using natural methods. And through that process, I learned what an amazing tool our bodies are. Right. If we feed it the right things, if we cleanse, if we take care of ourselves in ways that maybe we never have done before, we can actually get well. And I became really, really passionate about telling others that, look, there is another way, because especially back then, chemo was just kind of starting. And, if they gave you a cancer prognosis, 50-50 chance you're probably not going to make it.
What year was that, Vickie? What year was that?
That was, let me see, I moved to Idaho in 73, 25. Let me see if I can do the math. That was mid 70s, late 70s, 78 maybe.
So that was really early for that type of way.
It was.
Yeah.
And most of the pioneers in natural healing were underground because if people found out, the AMA and the American Cancer Society, things were happening to people that were doing alternative methods that were not real nice. Let's just leave it there. Mm-hmm. So you had to be real careful. So you had to really dig deep and find out different methods. Like Ann Widmore started doing wheatgrass therapy, and Max Gerson had clinics in, I don't know if he had his clinic in Mexico at that time. So you really had to search for those pioneers in the natural healing realm. But it just made me so passionate about helping people get well, and that's really kind of where I started. So from there, I decided, I needed to have some credentials behind my name so people would listen to me. So I became a massage therapist, and then I started getting all kinds of fitness certifications, and then I just kept researching and studying. I studied herbology and just anything and everything I could get my hands on to help people get well. And then I ended up falling in love, getting married, and I had 6 kids. So my job was to raise 6 amazing children. And we homeschooled, and we kind of lived off the land again in Arkansas and Mississippi. While
so you homeschooled 6 children as well?
We did. We homeschooled. Mm-hmm. And, it's not like we sit down and read books. We kind of did what was called unit studies back then. It was like my older son was really interested in hunting and the way bows and arrows worked and, rifles and all of that kind of stuff. So his learning was based around that. Right. And so you did, everything could come out of a particular subject. What are you interested in? Let's go research it. And so anyhow. It was a lot of fun, but then they got too smart, and then I didn't have anything I could teach them. So it was like, you guys need to go and learn from somebody else because you tapped me out. So anyhow, so then, yeah, when we moved to Arizona, I just started again, you know, coaching and training. I became a chiropractic assistant, and again, just kept learning and learning, and landed a job in a company that, as a wellness coach for corporate companies and a large Native American tribe in northern Arizona. So I was their coach for about 10 years. But anyhow, just, when you start your business, and I think you know this, Sally, you have to kind of flow with it. You think you have an idea what it looks like, and you don't really know because it changes all the time. So, a lot of years I just kind of ebbed and flowed, and I wasn't sure what a life fit and free looked like. I started the company kind of in about 2008. I came up with a name, and again, I wasn't sure what I was doing with it. And then in 2017, I had somebody approach me to teach dance lessons at a community. So I said, yeah, that sounds like fun. So I went in, and that kind of started it. I started teaching one class, and they wanted more. And I thought, well, this is a lot of fun. So I made little flyers, and every time I would see a assisted living facility, I would just stop and pass flyers out. And pretty soon we started getting really busy. And the cool thing was that everything that I learned in my classes that I would take, I would go back and teach them what to do. And I started seeing incredible changes in them energetically and physically, mentally, and emotionally. The 4 pillars of health, because that's what we want to target, our 4 pillars of health. And I saw their memory changing, and I saw their moods elevating. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So I put a system together called Energy Up, which takes principles from a lot of different techniques, but basically based off of a technique called NAM, N-A-A-M. It's a particular branch of yoga, and a lot of it, NAM is based off of cellular vibration from music, and changing that cellular vibration by being in a different vibrational level through movement and sound. And I saw incredible benefits. So my people that have been with me for the past 4 years are just amazing. They're off the charts. I was talking to one of them that's 95, and she was telling me the other day, she goes, I could not have done this 5 years ago. And I said, yeah, I know, Shirley, and look at where you're at. I mean, they have the stamina of somebody 20 years younger than they are. Not only that, but their energy and their mood, and they're just the happiest people ever. But anyhow, you can tell I'm just a little bit passionate about it.
So tell me more about the business. So you work within assisted living. You offer classes. I know you moved online during that COVID.
Yes. So before COVID, my daughter, we were getting way too busy, and my daughter kept saying, I think it'd be really cool if we went virtual with this, so we could target internationally and reach a bigger audience. And I was like, yes, for sure. She's lived international for the last 7-8 years. So she became my business partner. And then when COVID hit, it was like, well, now's our time. So we launched virtually, and we started with senior living communities, and seniors aging at home basically was our first target audience. And we've kept that really strong. So right now we went from teaching 5 fitness classes a week to offering over 60 classes and events every month. So we decided, they need more than just fitness classes, and our fitness classes are fun. So we do like flamenco and belly dancing and energy up and all kinds of things that you wouldn't necessarily think that seniors should do. But you know what, again, if it's not fun and engaging, and if we're not getting you laughing and getting that mood elevated, you shouldn't even be doing it, right? It's not like, okay, we're going to sit in the chair and raise our arm now. No, I mean, we're going to make you laugh. If nothing else, you're going to leave and your mood is going to be elevated. So we do about 10 to 12 different classes a week on fitness classes. And then we do anything and everything that we can think of to keep seniors active and engaged and connected, we offer. So we do at least 2 international tours with live tour guides every month. We do workshops like the workshop we did with Sally. We did one on EFT. We did one on conscious eating. We do essential oil workshops. We do interviews. We just did one on color codes, because as your hair starts to get gray, your colors change. You want to make sure you wear the best colors for your skin and your hair. So like I said, anything and everything we can find that would educate and entertain and keep seniors connected and active, we try and find. So we're always looking for new ideas. If you guys have something that you want to see, you let us know and we'll try and find it. So that's what we do now. And I'm really excited. We're getting ready to launch our individual platform for individuals as well, because, you know, a lot of seniors are choosing to age at home, to age in place and to stay at home. And reaching individuals, especially in eras like this where there's not, I mean, we're still not have the socialization out there like we used to before COVID. People are still, some people are still a little bit leery about being in crowds, so they still need that community connection. So we've created this incredible international community where people just come together and meet and spend time together over an event or a class or a workshop.
Sounds phenomenal.
So it's really exciting.
I'm just going to pop up here. This is how you can get a hold of Vickie on Instagram. She's got more details. And also, I didn't put this in here, but you can also do www.alivefitandfree.com.
Yeah, for sure.
To find out more about the classes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that they can do, it's like they can access an online platform and do these classes, these interactive.
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer live interactive classes, just like we're sitting here talking, right? We have over 60 live classes a month, and then we have a pre-recorded library of on-demand videos. So anything and everything that you want to do at your own leisure, you can pop that in there as well. So it was interesting because you know, when I realized I was a senior,
I know.
Like, oh, that's me? Are you kidding?
How did I get here? I know.
That's not me. But it's like, oh, yes, it is. Right? That's why I say all of a sudden I realized I was one of those. And, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, I always thought of seniors as being my grandmother. Now, seniors today are not Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Seniors today are not who they were when our grandmothers were seniors. Okay, I remember my grandmother was 65, and she was old. You know, they didn't go out and exercise. You know, she take her bath every afternoon. You know, and put her dress on for dinner, and you know, and I was just like, bless her heart, she was the sweetest thing ever. But I started looking around at when I finally realized that I am one of those people, you know, I started looking at the marketing for seniors, and it was like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding.
I know.
Baby blue and beige, you're going to sit down in the rocking chair, somebody's patting your arms in the pictures, you know, and it's like, don't touch me.
Yeah, it's every time I see an advertisement for over 50s retirement living, they're not talking to me.
I know, right?
Hang on a minute. Yes, they are, but that's not me.
My mother, you know, but it's like, so you know what? Again, so I always say I'm really a redhead on the inside. And really a redhead on the inside. And so sometimes I have to put my hand over my mouth so I don't say something that I will have to come back and apologize for later, right? So I just get in. It was like with the whole natural healing. It was like, oh, I'm so mad at the medical profession. I've got to do something, right? And it's like, okay, I am not buying this baby blue and beige senior marketing stuff. This is not working. I am starting a movement to redefine what senior means. This is us. We are alive. We're vibrant. We're full of life. We're ready to do on all of those things that we've never had a chance to do, and we are coming full barrel, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's like, and so it was just like, redefining what senior means. Yeah, baby, let's bring it. So we're
Yeah.
modern seniors. We are the new senior. And, we're not going down, laying down or sitting in a rocking chair. We're going to go out with guns blazing and doing everything that we want to be doing.
Yeah.
So we don't want to just live longer. We want to live better longer, right?
Yes.
If I'm going to live to be
Absolutely.
100, I don't want to feel like I'm 150. I want to still be up and at 'em and active and engaged in life and choosing what I want to do. I don't know if you knew this, but there's something called a health span and a lifespan. You might know this, Sally.
Mhm.
There's a 15-year gap between health span and lifespan. I think it's 13 years. So they say that the average person in the USA can be healthy until the age of 65, but then their average age of a life is 78. So you've got 13 years where you don't get any health. You ran out of health at 65, but your lifespan, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Whoever decided that is,
Yeah.
we need to sit down and have a serious discussion because you are not getting it here.
Exactly. That person who wrote that was 30.
It's like, excuse me, you're going with the baby blue and beige rocking chair.
But isn't it true? I mean, it's so true. I look back at my parents. My mother unfortunately passed away at 56, so she didn't get to be my age. But I look back at how we viewed women back,
Oh, I know, right?
30, so she should be 34 years since she passed. She would have been 90 this year, but how we viewed women then, in particular women, and men too, but in particular women, and I remember thinking that mum was a very beautiful woman, but there wasn't the clothes that we've got available now.
No.
There weren't the opportunities. I remember when she started coming, I was teaching fitness at the time, and we were living in Canada, but we came home and I was showing her about aerobics, and she just loved it, absolutely loved it, because she danced all her life. She was a ballroom dancer. She was
I love it.
but she had never occurred to her that she could do that at her age. And when I think back, that was 52. That's when she was 52, she was talking about this.
Wow.
So we've made a huge, huge jump.
Totally different lifestyle.
So tell me, you go into these assisted living areas. Are you seeing, you just mentioned that lady who was in her 90s. Have you received feedback on people feeling better or achieving more things, doing things that they didn't think they could do when you...
Yeah, for sure. And I can see it because I don't live in their bodies and I just go.
Yes.
But okay, so for instance, I have some people that have been with me since I started. I think that's 2017, 4 years ago, and we do all different kinds of things. But one thing we always do are squats. Okay, squats are the best exercise we can do because we do that move every day. We can squat, we can stay mobile, right? How many times a day do you get up and down out of the chair, off the toilet, out of bed, squat? So we started with maybe 10 squats, okay? And it was an effort for them to squat. We do at least 35 squats now a day, every time when we meet in our fitness class. And I have one lady, I've got to brag on her. My oldest pupil is Lois. She turned 100 last March. She lives by herself in Southern California, and she's on every class. She's the cutest thing. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. She has her dining room table set up. She's got her weight. She's got her computer. She's got a rebounder with the bars on it. She's got an exercise bike. I mean, this lady is something else. But she said to me the other day, one of the classes that I do every week is we do a lot of breath work, and she goes, thank you. It took me 100 years to learn how to breathe properly. It's like, yes.
Isn't that priceless? But that's what I want. But isn't that what we all want? I mean, we all want to have a rebounder when we're 100 and we get onto our exercise bike.
It's like,
and living by herself.
Yeah. Oh, she's something else. And she goes, yeah, I have a housekeeper. My kids made me have a housekeeper. She comes in once a month because my children said she had to. I got to visit her last summer. And I said, Lois, do you drive? She goes, well, don't tell anybody, but sometimes I get in my car and drive around the block. was sharp as a tack. I mean, this lady is something else. But yes, it's really fun to watch the changes that happen to the people.
That's phenomenal.
And
Wow, that's phenomenal.
yeah.
I want to chat quickly. We're just going to change things. You've been part of a book.
I have.
Yes. So that the book is
Conversations
with Piri.
Conversations with Piri. So about a year or so ago, I was contacted by Piri Grossman, and she was doing a series on, she was interviewing people for a series called Second Chapters of Life. And all of these stories are published on Medium. You can go in there and see second chapters. She's still doing them. She's probably done 1,000 stories, and they're incredible. But her publisher wanted her to, they're also in Thrive, thrive.com, thrivemagazine.com. Her publisher wanted her to pick 30 stories to put into a book. And I feel so honored because one of the stories is mine. So this book is about people that reinvented themselves.
Beautiful.
And it goes from hairdressers to fashion designers to you name it. People, I mean, everybody reinvents themselves in one way or another. Some of us are just a little more drastic than others, but if we have a dream, if we have a vision, you know what, take a little step towards that. Figure out what you can do today to go towards whatever that little thing is. Just one baby step. And then tomorrow say, wow, look at where I started. I'm clear over here. And then take another baby step. And you know what, whatever fires you up inside, find that passion and go, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I don't know what that looks like. And when I started Live Fit and Free, well, we had moved to Arizona in 2005. And after Ken died, I was so busy building the house, getting that done. And I didn't really have time to stop and grieve. He passed away in 2001. And 2007, I pretty much crashed and burned because I hadn't dealt with any of the grief. And I needed to do something. So I found this incredible transformational school to go to. It was a live and learn setting. So my 2 younger children and I went, and for 3 months we lived in this beautiful place in the mountains in California and did these incredible classes with amazing speakers, and the healing just started happening. And so we stayed there for 3 months, and then for 2 months we went to a foreign country, and we went to Fiji actually and worked with the natives and the islanders and lived there and got to share kind of what we learned. But when I came back, it was the first time in my life that I ever was okay with who I was. I never felt like I fit. Everybody always told me to sit down and be still, and I'm not a still person, and I realized it was okay to just be like that. And so I came back and I knew what I was supposed to do. For the first time in my life, I was just supposed to make people happy and get them excited about life and to love themselves. But I didn't know what that looked like. So when I came back to Arizona, it was like, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm just going to start doing it. And so that's why I came up with the name Alive, Fit and Free. I was talking to a friend. I said, we need to do something. Let's just start this thing. And we didn't really know what it was. But then I said, oh, I like to drink coffee. I'm going to go get a job at Starbucks and I can talk to people. So I did. And I had the best time.
I love it.
I know, it was so much fun because like I said, I had no idea what it looked like. And then I got a job working as a wellness coach for this company. And it was the coolest thing because, like I said, I don't sit well and I get bored real well. So I went into this little wellness company and I talked to them, and I remember asking them questions about the company, and they said, well, this is what you do. We've got all these clients all over. And I said, well, is there a script or something I'm supposed to say? No, you can just go in and say whatever. And it's like, so I left. I thought, well, that was interesting. And I'm driving home in my car from the interview, and she called and said, you got the job. And it was the coolest thing because most of the time I got to drive around the valley or I got to drive out of town, and I could just sit and talk to people all day about getting healthy and where they were in their lives. And most of the time I was just out flitting, and then a couple days a week I could sit at my computer and research and learn. But it was just so much fun. And it just kind of all of that. So all of those things that happen to us in our lives, all of those little pieces lead us to where we're going if we just let them and be open to those. We got a twist in the road coming up here. That sounds like funny, but yeah, take it. and see what happens.
And
Because
I'm just thinking as you're saying all of this, now kind of coming out of COVID or wherever we're going at the moment, many people are going to have to reinvent themselves. And I think if you come with what you're talking about, it's like, okay, how can I have fun here? How can I do something else? And even if it's getting a job at Starbucks, because I like to speak to people, as you said before, right? It's one baby step. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to work at Starbucks because that's not me. But it's fun. I mean, it's funny you should say it, because the only day I was coaching clients yesterday, and I thought, I love this. I get to share people's stories and talk to people about their lives all the time. I love it.
All right.
And what I'm doing here is it's kind of a mini version of that. And it really is. It's finding that thing that you love to do and then figuring out afterwards how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Vickie, this has been absolutely wonderful.
Oh,
I'm so glad
fun,
we've got
Sally.
to spend
Thank you
some time together. I've put in here again, Vickie, you can contact Vickie on Instagram, Alive Fit and Free. You can find her on Facebook at the same time. I've actually popped in the chat. I've just made a little bit.ly link here, but in the chat, you'll see a link to the book that looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's incredible. Grab your tissues, you'll cry.
Oh, good. I'm going to order my copy then, and I'll look forward to reading that, because I think it's so inspiring for all of us right now, and especially as we go to read how people create life and reinvent themselves. We're all reinventing ourselves.
Absolutely, we are. Yeah.
My daughter, because for those who don't know, Vickie and I both do Instagram Reels all the time, and my daughter was telling me the other day, she at one of her people she works with went, "Your mum does Reels? Oh my God, that's so cool!" And I like doing them because I always wanted to be an actress and a dancer, so they're just fun.
I know, me too. I know, it's so much fun. I have one of my little instructors is 24, and I was talking to her about social media the other day, and I was asking her about, I was asking her what she did with social media, and I said, so how about TikToks? And she goes, oh, I've never done that for anybody. And I said, oh, well, I do TikToks. And she went, what? And I said, yes, it's so much fun.
It's so good. And I just think to myself every time because Instagram keeps changing things and all that stuff, it's just rewiring new neurons for me, and it's so good for my brain health. Just love it. Vickie, this has been absolutely delightful. I've just loved having you on.
Sally.
Please connect with Vickie on Instagram, Live Fit and Free, and please share this out. This will come up on YouTube and also Facebook. If you know somebody that's kind of at that stage in life and feeling like it's, oh, go old I am, share this with them, because Vickie's an absolute prime example of just reinventing yourself and keep on going. Thank you so much, Vickie. I've loved this conversation.
My pleasure.
Look forward to talking to you soon.
Talk to you soon, Sally. Thank you. Bye-bye.